So this is regarding the part 3 of the chapter expansion of solid. So if you have not watched the part 1 and part 2 video, then go to the I button. I will be giving the link here. So in this part I will be discussing how to derive the relation between the density of the solid if you change the temperature. Okay, now what you need to know, you need to know the definition of density. Let's say you have a substance of mass m and volume b, then you define density as d equal to am by b, right? Now let us think a situation. Let's say at T1 temperature you have the volume of the solid as V1 and your mass is m1, okay, and if you increase the temperature, then change in volume will be large, volume will increase, so temperature is T2 here and mass is still m1, because mass is always constant. You cannot change the mass by increasing only temperature, you can only change the density or the volume of the sun. Okay, so let's define your initial density. I am denoting it as d1. Okay, so d1 is defined as mass divided by volume. So here I am writing as m1. Okay, let's take m1 as m only because m is constant, so no need to write m1. So d1 is m divided by v1, right? And similarly you can write d2 as m divided by v2, right? Now you know that v2 has a relation with v1, that you can write with respect to v2 equal to v1 into 1 plus gamma t2 minus t1, right? Okay, let's say this is your equation 1, this is your equation 2, and this is your equation 3. Now I am going to derive the relation between d1 and d2. So how I will do that? Let's remove the remaining part. So I am removing this part. Okay, so you have those equations. So if you divide equation 1 by equation 2, so I am dividing equation 1 by equation 2, then left hand side will be d1 by d2, right? And the right hand side will be m by v1, then it will be v2 by m. Think of that. So I am dividing, it will be inverse, m by v2 will be v2 by m. Okay, so it will be just like v2 by m1. So I have cancelled out m. So if you are cancelling something, you should write m not equal to 0. Mass is not 0, non-zero quantity, then we can cancel it out. So d1 by dt is finally v2 by v1. Now you have v2 equal to this equation. So if you write, then d1 by dt equal to, instead of v2 you can write v1 1 plus gamma t2 minus t1 divided by v1. Okay, let me remove all the other things. So this is your final final equation. So now from this equation, d1 by d2 equal to 1 plus gamma into t2 minus of t1. Okay, now if you want to write d1 d2 times 1 plus gamma t2 minus t1. Okay, so this is your initial density, this is your final density. I used to write final volume or final length as in terms of initial length. I will be transforming to that. This is one kind of equation. So this is your initial density, always remember, this is your initial density, this is your final density. Okay, and this is t2 minus t1, and I am incorporating the case t2 greater than t1. Now I will write d2 with respect to d1. How I will do that? Let's see. So I am removing all this part. So you have this equation. Now if you want to write this d2, so d2 will be like d1 whole divided by this term. So your d2 will like be d1 divided by this term. So 1 plus gamma t2 minus t1. Then you can write d1 1 plus gamma t2 minus t1 whole of inverse, right? Now in the binomial expansion, you write 1 plus x series whole to the power n as 1 plus n into x and some higher order terms n into n minus 1 by 2 factorial into x square. plus you have cubic term x to the power 4 term. Okay, now if your ax is very less than 1, then you can only expand this series. Okay, if your x is very less than 1, then I can neglect this higher order term. So I am taking only two significant term, 1 and plus nx. So I can write, let me remove this part. So I can write 1 plus x to the power n nearly equal to 1 plus x. This nearly equal to is important. So I am considering x is a very small quantity with respect to 1. So I will take, so that's higher order term. So that higher order term x square x cube, that will be more and more less with respect to s. So it will have this part. So I want to use this equation in this case. Let's imagine this whole part is x and this is your n. Okay, then you can write this equation as d1's time, what I have written here, 1 plus nx. So 1 x to the power, this will be x to the power 1 plus x to the power whole n. So it is 1 plus nx. So this is your x part. So I am writing minus n, sorry, this is n. So n is here minus 1 here times x. So x is here gamma into t2 minus of t1. So just write this d1 1 minus gamma t2 minus t1. Okay, so from this equation you can easily see that your final density d2 is less than d1 because of this negative part I am subtracting from 1. Okay, so if you increase the temperature of substance, the density of the substance will decrease. However, there are some exceptional cases like anomalous expansion of water near the 4 degrees Celsius. That has a different scenario I will discuss later when I will discuss the expansion of liquid part. Okay, so this is your final equation. This equation connects the final density of the substance with initial density times 1 minus gamma t2 minus t1. Okay, now if you want to write with respect of t degrees Celsius increase, let's say if you have a density d0 at 0 degrees Celsius temperature and dt at t degrees Celsius temperature, your t is obviously greater than 0, then you can write this equation dt as d0 times 1 minus gamma into t. Okay, so this is the equation connecting dt with the initial density d0 at 0 degrees Celsius temperature. Now I am going to calculate what is the thermal stress developed in a material. So thermal stress, let us denote it by ST. Let's say ST is our thermal stress. Stress is nothing but force per unit area. Okay, so it is also defined by F divided by area. Okay, now from the chapter of elasticity, I hope you know the equation for the Young modulus. So Young modulus was longitudinal stress, I am just writing here only stress, divided by strain. Okay, so stress was force per unit area and your strain was change in length. So change in length divided by initial length. So del L is your change in length. Okay, so let us draw a picture of the scenario. Let's say you have a rod. It is constrained to, so these are some hard wall. Let's say these are some concrete. I have introduced a rod of some let's say some rod of metal. Okay, so now if you increase this temperature, so you are supplying some heat energy to this rod. Okay, so now if you supply heat energy, this rod will try to increase its length, but I have constrained its length with this concrete wall, so it cannot expand. Like then it will generate a stress in the rod. Okay, so I want to calculate that stress, and here we call that stress as thermal stress because this stress has been developed with the impact of thermal energy. So how to calculate that? So your change in length del L, that is the crucial thing I will be writing with incorporating the thermal expansion mechanism. So previously I have written, if you follow the F1 part 1 part of this video, part 1 section, then I have written there that L2 minus L1, that is the change in length, equal to alpha times initial length L1 into change in temperature. Now let's say here I have changed the temperature by T degree Celsius. So this T degree Celsius is the change in temperature. So you replace this T2 minus T1 by T, and here your initial length is L, right? So you replace this L1 by L, okay? And this L2 minus L1 is your change in length. So change in length is denoted by del L. So I can write change in length del L equal to alpha times initial length into change in temperature. So T is your here change in temperature. So I can put in this equation in the Young modulus, okay? So I will have a equation. So I will substitute this del L in this equation. So here F by A, this F by A I am denoting as ST, which is your thermal stress. So I can write here ST. So ST is your thermal stress, force that is developed by the thermal energy per unit area. So ST del L I will like this, alpha into L into T, initial length was divided by L. So this L and L will get cancelled out, right? Then you can write your thermal stress ST as, so ST, so let us write this equation. So ST will be like, so this Y times Young modulus time alpha into T, so Y into alpha into T. So this is a very important relation. If you have a Young modulus of some material and you have the linear expansion coefficient of the material, and if you change the temperature of the material, then you can easily calculate what is the thermal stress that has been developed in that material, okay? So thermal stress is defined by Young modulus times linear expansion coefficient times change in the temperature. This is a very important equation in JEE, main or advanced. You will have the usefulness of this equation in solving your problem. So that's for it today. I will come back with a detailed problem where I will solve many problems regarding this expansion of solid chapter. Then I will proceed further for the expansion of liquid. So till then, stay tuned, and if you like this video, hit like. And what do you feel about this video, then you can comment section are always open. You can leave your comment there. And if you are getting help from this channel, you can obviously subscribe to my channel so that when I upload new videos, you will be notified first.